It's not just a privilege, it's an honor for me to be here, to be amongst you, because I'm literally standing in the presence of the future, in the presence of greatness. And if you believe that it's you I'm speaking to, please put a round of applause for yourselves. But let's just get straight into it. The topic for me is a bit of my life story. That's why there are no slides, and I would love you to go on this journey with me into my past and into my present. And perhaps it would impact someone. Hopefully it's you. Our businesses were being run down. In fact, they were being sucked dry by staff, relatives actually, our cousins, who my dad had brought into our system under the revered Igbo mentorship system to train them, show them the ropes of the business, and at the end of it, with the promise, not just the promise, but the commitment to empowering them with their own stores, with their own capital, setting them up. But these chaps chose to empty the registers, to take from the till whenever we were not there. The craziest part of it is that whenever they said we were not operating on profitable terms, if any direct member of the family, my siblings or myself, were in the outfit, would record significant sales. Very, very significant sales. So those times that they say we're not profitable, maybe business doesn't work well on Sundays, people don't come out on Saturdays, Mondays are deadbeats, turned out to be good if we were there. And as much as it was a big business, we still could not afford to have these kinds of gaps. At the same time, I observed others were setting up businesses outside of the state. People were opening branches. Yes, we had a big outfit, but what was keeping us from expanding, from becoming bigger? And could we expand sustainably if we had this major issue of leakages? So I told my parents I was going to get a job. I was going to go somewhere else, work within the corporate sector. At the time, banks were booming. Consolidations had happened, and there were so many openings. So I stepped into the bank. How were they doing it? Opening branches around the country. Some of them even foraying into foreign lands and doing well. Yet we had a challenge in managing our own one big store. So here am I in the bank, and I thought I'd found the secret sauce. It was the system. Build a machine so big, so perfect, that it stands against greed. It beats any opening that you may think is there for someone to destroy what you've created. I said, yes. So if you have a solid system, a very solid machine running your enterprise, you're safe. And that was until a major fraud happened. It burst my bubble. Someone had found a way. The implication was that systems alone would not cut it. So the journey continued for me. And what I noticed was perhaps it was leadership. I thought it was the leadership. Because we had a gentleman who, whenever he was running the region, same staff, same resources, our performance flatlined, it tanked. We did just the bare minimum. And when he was replaced with someone else, the same staff, the same resources, our performance peaked. We went above and beyond. So I thought it was leadership. Yes, I'd found the answer to shaping the future I was interested in. But I was worried that that answer wasn't really, really correct because my parents were good leaders. They ran our community well. They were respected. And I thought, if being a charismatic leader is what it takes, and you have to be around every day, every time, to ensure that the system is working, then you cannot scale. You're probably just a professional babysitter. Again, I had to go on another journey. Fortunately for me, or by accident, I had to put up a team. I was asked to put up a team to carry out a very, very important assignment. And I noticed something that I was doing in my selection. I wasn't selecting just the brightest minds, the people who understood the tech that was needed. I was picking people who had similar values, with whom we had a shared vision. And it struck me. As much as systems do not run systems, people do. And these people need to share similar values with us. Because guess what? When the leaders walk out of the room, when there's a glitch in the system, all you have is the values that are keeping you together. Otherwise, someone else will find a way. Since then, I have built everything around me being very mindful of shared values, being very mindful of the mission. Because guess what? My cousins did not have the same definition of future as we had. Perhaps that's why they pilfered. For us, it was different. For them, it was different. For you, it may be different. I know that right now we're thinking that if we need to build a future, if we need to shape our tomorrow, it's technology that will drive it. Artificial intelligence, international connections, having something that big. But it is not going to function when the values are not right. Because guess what? You would only accelerate growth to broken people, broken values. You're just not going to create the utopia you think we're creating. What we'll end up creating is a fast-growing system that is broken. Technology doesn't run it. It's the people who receive it and what they do with it. What values do they have? What mission are they running under? So to shape the world, it's not systems that will shape tomorrow. Systems will not shape tomorrow. It's people who will shape it. It's you and I that will shape it. It's important that we begin to build meticulously and painfully, because I've seen that it's also one of the most difficult things to curate. Building people who share similar values, who can see the mission that you have. So if you want to shape that future, you will need to invest a whole lot in building the person to your left. Because guess what? That individual, when you have several of them, become part of a community. Several individuals form a family. Several families form a community. Several communities are what we refer to as a nation. And if that is broken, then the future is broken. But if we intentionally build it, believe me, what you have for a future is not just bright, but will be a future that you'll be proud of, a future that will be within your control, the future that you would not be afraid of. Thank you.